Hello, future officers. Welcome to another session of a NewsKase, wherein we try to bring in you the most relevant of current news that is integrated with both prelims as well as mains. So, in recent times, our country has overcome a very difficult situation or a challenge. We have literally moved mountains to solve that, and that was the rescue of 14 laborers that were trapped there in Salkiara tunnel in Uttarakhand, right? But with that, there is a issue which has come forth, and that is understanding the rat hole mining, right? So we have seen the successful rescue of 41 laborers. So what is the context of today's news case? So context is what is rat hole mining, right? And it was being done to rescue the trapped Uttarkashi's tunnel workers. So in today's session, we will see or discuss about what do we actually mean by rat hole mining, why this procedure of rat hole mining, it was banned in Meghalaya by the NGT, and how does it compromise both the safety as well as health of the miners, and does it have any implications on the environment as well, right? These and some other issues we will touch upon in today's session. So let's begin by first understanding that what is the actual meaning of rat hole mining, which was employed basically in the last phase of rescue, right? Starting mein, all of us are aware what was being done. There was horizontal drilling, there was vertical drilling as well by certain imported machines from USA, the auger machine, etc. Finally, what came to the rescue were the rat hole miners, right? So rat hole mining is actually a method of extracting coal from the narrow horizontal seams, and it is very much prevalent in the state of Meghalaya, especially in the East Jaintia hills of Meghalaya. आप सभी ने जरूर पढ़ा होगा गारो खासी जैंतिया, right? So the term rat hole, it refers to the narrow pits being dug into the ground. ये जो term है rat hole, it refers to a very narrow pits, और वो इतना narrow होता है that barely a person can just enter. Typically just large enough for one person to descend and extract the coal, right? Because the coal seams that are found in Meghalaya, they are very thin, right? And once the pits they are dug, एक बार अगर pits खोद दी गई हैं, right? Then miners they would descend with the help of either ropes or ladders, right, to reach the coal seams, and the coal is then manually extracted with the use of primitive tools like pickaxes, shovels and baskets, etc. तो बहुत ही primitive, बहुत crude तरीका है of extraction of coal in the Indian state of Meghalaya, right? And what are the different types of rat hole mining? So basically there are two types of rat hole mining. First is the side cutting procedure, and then we have a box cutting procedure also, right? So what happens in this side cutting procedure? So in this, narrow tunnels are dug on the hill slopes, and workers they go inside until they find the coal seams. So side mein se, if the hill is there, so it would be, right, there would be cutting of hill slopes, and then the miners they would descend until they find the coal seams. The coal seams in the hills of Meghalaya is very thin, as just discussed, less than 2 meters in most of the cases. And then there is another method of this rat hole mining, that is your box cutting. Box cutting में क्या है? A rectangular opening it is made, and this rectangular opening it can vary from your 10 to 100 square meters, right? And then a vertical pit is being dug that is around 100 to 400 feet And what happens once a coal seam is being found, rat hole size tunnels, these are being dug horizontally, right? So this is very simple to understand in box type rat hole mining. A rectangular opening is being made, right? And then what happens? Vertical drilling until we get coal, right? Until the people, they found coal, and once coal is being found, so vertically rat hole mines, they are being dug or being created, right? And a person then manually enters and he mines what? Coal, right? Now what is the issue involved? What are the concerns? In fact, this was being banned by NGT, that is National Green Tribunal, in year 2014, after the persistent efforts of certain NGOs, mainly Impulse. It is a Meghalaya based NGO, right? So first of all, let us try and understand what are the concerns. Problem kya hai rat hole mining ki wajah se? So there are both issues of human health, safety and well-being. Also, there is issue of environmental degradation or damage that is associated with the procedure of rat hole mining, right? So significant safety as well as environmental hazards are there. So mines are typically unregulated, and there is lack of safety measures such as proper ventilation. At most of the times it is missing, and because there is lack of proper ventilation, so the laborers or the rat hole miners, they suffer from exphia, right? Or exfoliation, that is reduced oxygen supply to their cells, and that can cause even death. And then there can be there is lack of structural support. Agar structure ka support proper nahi hoga, so the entire mine, it can collapse. And when the mine collapses, the miners, they are being trapped. Or at many instances that it has been found, the water, it gushes through the rat hole mines, and then the miners, they are trapped. So there is structural support is also missing. Also the safety gears for the worker, at most times it is again missing. And there have been ecological issues also. Ecological issues like there can be acidification of rivers. Since this rat hole mining is an unscientific process and it is unregulated, so what is happening? Because of that, there is acidification of rivers, and the examples include river Luka as well as river Mintu, right? I'm sorry for the pronunciation. So you can remember these names, because bhale se hi paper ka naam hai general studies, but we have to be specific in order to get good marks. So you can remember these two names. So they have become too acidic to sustain any aquatic life. And then not only river pollution, the land, it is also being degraded, right? Plus there is problem of deforestation, land degradation, deforestation, as well as water pollution. And because of that, we have higher concentrations of sulfates, iron and toxic heavy metals, making life even more difficult for the aquatic species or for the entire aquatic ecosystem. And the acidic runoff from these mines, it is known as AMD, that is acid mine drainage, right? And it is particularly harmful because it degrades the water quality and reduces the biodiversity in the affected water bodies, right? And there, despite attempts by authorities to regulate or ban such practices, authorities, they have tried to ban or regulate such practices, but still this procedure of rat hole mining, it is rampant in Meghalaya, right? And what is the reason why this procedure still persist? It is because of the economic reasons, economic factors, and there is absence of viable alternative livelihood that is driving people, and more particularly, right, the cause of concern is even graver reason. Lot of children are being trafficked and lot of child labor is being involved in rat hole minings. So these were some of the allegations that were presented before the National Green Tribunal, that there is instances of human trafficking because laborers from Nepal, laborers from Bangladesh, laborers from Meghalaya, Assam, etc., right? They are being trafficked and children are being deployed. Why children are being deployed? So it is not very difficult to understand. क्योंकि जो rat hole mine है उसका size ही बहुत छोटा है. So in comparison to a adult man, so miners, they prefer the child should be employed because they can easily go in and take out the or extract the coal. But that is having grave concerns for the safety and the future of the children, right? So this is because of absence of viable alternative livelihoods for the local population, right? So this rat hole mining issue, it is not a new issue. There have been instances wherein Meghalaya's rat hole traps, so 15 miners, they were being trapped in a coal mine, barely 2 feet wide. Right? Barely 2 feet wide, mein 15 miners, they were being trapped, and this was in 2019. So despite the tragedy, rat hole mining in Jaintia Hills, it is continuing. Right? What is even more troubling is the deployment of child laborers. In fact, the name child labor, how can we associate labor with child? Because when the word comes child, the child is associated with innocence. Child should be associated with joy, right? The word child should be associated with full of life, full of energy, full of colors, full of vigor. But unfortunately, because of lack of viable alternative economic avenues, they are forced into child laborers, right? They are forced to work as child laborers, right? So why was the rat hole mining being banned? So definitely there were concerns that were presented before the NGT. So environmentalists and the human rights activists, they began flagging the hazards of rat hole mining in Meghalaya. And the campaign intensified after Impulse, a Meghalaya-based NGO, it began addressing the issue of human trafficking as well as child labor. So this we have already discussed. So there are certain instances also. In 2018, 15 men, they were trapped in a flooded mine. Another incident happened in year 2021, wherein 5 miners, they were trapped in the flooded mines. Because of that and other instances also, NGT, it has banned this practice, right? And it has banned this practice way back in year 2014. But aaj bhi, in today's time, this continues unabated, right? So mining, however, it is a key source of revenue for the state government. And the Manipur government, it has challenged the NGT ban, right? So the state government has challenged the NGT's ban on the procedure of rat hole mining, arguing that there is no feasible mining option for the region other than rat hole mining, right? And a panel appointed by Meghalaya High Court in year 2022, it has found that rat hole mining continues till date, unabated, right? So these were the reasons why NGT has banned the practice. And we also should be aware of the fact that Meghalaya is a 6th scheduled state. And Meghalaya, it attained statehood in year 1972. So being a 6th scheduled state, the Coal Mines Nationalization Act of 1973, it does not apply for the state of Meghalaya. And because of that, the landowners are the owners of the minerals which are beneath. And coal mining, it has definitely got a push or fillip or boomed after Meghalaya attained statehood in the year 1972. But however, आप सभी ने जरूर से पढ़ा होगा in Indian geography that Meghalaya, it is a part of Peninsula Plateau itself, and it has a very difficult terrain, right? So the terrain and the expensive which are involved in the mining, it has actually discouraged the mine owners from employing the advanced drilling machineries, because everything has got a cost. And when there is lack of drilling machines, etc., so the option that remains is to manually extract the coals, or usme bhi children are being preferred over the adult males. So finally, what is the way forward? First of all, rat hole mining, it has to be properly addressed. And how do we properly tackle the issue? Unless and until the state government does not provide or create alternative sources of employment, rat hole mining would continue unabated despite being banned, right? Or kab ban hua tha? Year 2014, but still it continues till date. So you can think on this part that how can, right? Consider yourself as a policy maker. Consider yourself as a officer on ground. What are the sources? What are the alternative sources that can be presented for the state of Meghalaya? One source of revenue is definitely the tourism, because there are certain good aspects also related to the state of Meghalaya. Meghalaya, definitely it is a very beautiful place, right? So tourism can be one such alternative method of livelihood. In fact, the cleanest village of not just of India but entire Asia, it is there in Meghalaya, because the people of Meghalaya, they know how to preserve or conserve nature. But at the same time, this problem, it has to be properly tackled, right? So do ponder over this point. So thank you very much, and we will meet with some other important topic. Till then, have a good time.